Yeah, that's kind of crappy.
Yeah.
But I'm only on the outside looking in, so I can't say either way. That's
Yeah.
just my opinion. So everything is alleged.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
sorry for
Sorry,
interrupting
dude.
all of you, but we do have an interview that's actually supposed to be taking place now.
Interview from who?
From Elizabeth Schiffler.
And she's with who?
I'm not 100% on that.
Well, why
So
the
you're
fuck are we
cutting
doing?
us off
How do you not know
for
where she's
something
from?
you have no idea for.
Well, she
Lovely.
was really insistent.
Is she hot? Did you see a picture of her, and that's why you're like bending over backwards to make sure she gets her interview?
Now, I don't always do that.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Apparently you
Yes.
do. Maybe you have a thing.
I'm going to go
So
with
she
yes.
wants to interview about what? The court case or what?
She wants to interview about particularly Disneyland Social Clubs and the White Rabbits, which you guys all happen to be.
We get one of these requests like once a week. We don't respond to any of them because they're always bullshit.
Jack, just because she has a pussy doesn't mean we have to take it.
So you already arranged with her to call
Word
in?
life,
Yes.
son. Say it again, Missy, because I don't think they heard you straight.
All right, I'll
in
tell
the
you what.
audience.
The audience
Just
is going to be.
because-
The audience doesn't want to hear any of this shit.
So, Jack, you cannot grab it by the pussy.
I'll tell you what. We'll do this one interview, but you have to use any next person that calls. I don't care how big their tits are. You just refer them to this episode and said they already did an interview, and you can listen to it here. Because
Okay.
nobody wants to hear this shit.
Do you
All right,
actually
deal.
have the person on the phone?
I'm calling them right now.
You're calling them right. What's her name?
Her name is Elizabeth.
Well, I'm going to get really fucked up and do an interview. That's what I'm going to do.
So we're talking, but we don't know where she's from. Just Elizabeth.
Just Elizabeth. Just some
Elizabeth.
girl. All it took was she had a female name, and
I'm
Jack was
gonna
like,
call
"Oh, I'll
her
get you the interview."
So it could be somebody trying to get intel.
It could be that our plaintiff's attorney coming at us asking questions. Speaking of which, yeah.
Why don't you get on the mic? Because
Okay.
you just keep like.
Yeah, you keep
Please
talking, Brett.
donate to the Social Club Community Legal Defense Fund. We have had 3 people donate, and we are up to $50. Or no.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
$50,
let me
yeah.
cut you off there, Brandon, because nobody's got time for your bullshit. So, anyways, anybody that donates to TSCCLDF,
Get some
$5 or
great
more,
prizes.
you're getting in the raffle, and we have this Pixar lithograph that is cast members only. We have a Flynn's Riders coin, and we have a 50th anniversary coin. And only 3 people have entered so far, so your chances are really good. Go to www.tsccldf.org, make a $5 donation or more, and we will announce the winner at the end of the show.
Definitely over $100 in value.
Yeah, definitely over $100 of value for $5.
We got some buzzing.
Yeah, that's Jack's mic because he sits it down next to his phone and shit when he puts it down. All right, so is the caller on, Jack?
Hold on.
Caller, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, here we go. Hi, I guess you're best friends with Jack. Okay, hey, I'm Jake, and you're talking to Tom, Steph, and Missy. And how can we help you today?
Hi. I've got a question for you guys, and I think I mentioned this to Jack, but I'm an independent researcher working on an article about communities in Disneyland.
Communities in Disneyland,
I've been
okay.
watching. I've watched some of your show, and I want
I'm
to
sorry.
know the origin story of the White Rabbits.
The origin story of the White Rabbits.
That's the only question she gets, by the way. She said, I have a question.
A question,
A
right?
question.
A question. So you sure you don't want to try another question?
Okay, no, hold on. Let's be nice to her. This is Jack's girlfriend. Jack
answer,
loves
Lizzie.
making pen pals with girls that write into the show and have questions. Okay, so the origin of the White Rabbits. Basically, there was a group of 4 people, and we all worked at the same bar, and we happened to see an article that came out in the OC Weekly. And we were all past members, and we saw the social clubs in the park. And initially, still to this day, we thought it was the stupidest thing we'd ever seen in our lives. We thought it was just ridiculous that people were walking around Disneyland with biker vests on and acting like cool. We thought it was just the most outrageous, stupid bullshit that we had ever seen in our lives. And then we all 4 unanimously said, this is so stupid, we need to start our own. So that is the origin of the White Rabbit Social Club. It's 4 people meeting at a bar, and it started as a joke.
How many people do you have in the White Rabbits now?
For legal reasons, I hate to give that number out.
29.
That's
A lot?
we have a whole lot. If I had to guess, it's somewhere between 250 to 300 people.
Fantastic. That's amazing. I have a question. I've
Sure.
met with a couple social clubs. I was just in Disneyland. I see it. I'm interested. Why? And from, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The social clubs have been around since around 2013. You guys know Disney. Why are social clubs happening now? What is this trend? Why are we seeing it? Like, you know, you guys have your reasons coming together, but if you were to take that advisory role that you guys kind of take in your show, why is this happening?
So you're asking, the question is why are you seeing more about social clubs now?
Because we're
Not
all over the
necessarily why are we
papers.
seeing more,
That's
but
why.
like, were there social clubs in the 80s and the 90s? Like, what has led to social clubs coming as a part of Disneyland culture now?
Well, I'll tell you what. We happen to have a guy in the studio that was actually in the social club scene. Your boyfriend Jack. Jack's actually been around since like 2013. Jack is kind of one of the guys that I go to when I have questions about the older scene, and he's kind of like the old wise man that sits on top of a hill, except he has a bottle of Gatorade and a bag of Funyuns, and you can ask him about those old clubs. So Jack, why don't you ask her question of why were there social clubs prior to 2013, and why did it pop off in 2013?
So with that particular question, I do want to point out first that I'm not from 2013 because somebody will try to jump down my back. I've been around since 2014 for this scene.
Okay.
Now, yes, there will be people that will jump on my back for that one because I would probably jump on theirs. So when it deals with social clubs, so the iteration that we're used to seeing now, which is traditionally annual pass holders wearing basically what looks like biker vests. That is new as of 2013. That first group it was either the Neverlanders or the Wonderlanders. I keep confusing those two.
Yeah, it was one of the landers.
Yeah, and they were the first one to start it. Now before then, annual pass holders had met inside Disneyland for a very long time. You have like the dance crews that used to exist in the 80s and 70s. Swing dancing itself has been a part of Disneyland for a long time, since Date Night at Disneyland began, which I believe was the 70s. So you have all sorts of people that are creating these groups from way back when. So this is technically not something new. It's just the style is much more visible because you can see
More
them.
identifiable.
Exactly.
Yeah, because even back in and Jack, what year was Videopolis going?
Videopolis, I can't give you an exact number.
But it was
I know
late
the
80s, early 90s, maybe.
Is when I was a child.
Yeah, because Videopolis is what's the theater that it's at?
That is the Fantasyland Theater.
Yeah, the Fantasyland Theater back at the end of the 80s was Videopolis, and that was definitely like a club type vibe where kids would go and just dance, and it was kind of like a white Soul Train, I guess. You could say,
that's the easiest way.
Yeah. But there was groups that would hang out together, and they were kind of like crews. I don't know if they were officially named.
Yeah, they did have names.
They did have names. Yeah.
There's a guy that's in the social club community. At least I think he's still in it. That was a part of one of the original dance crews. And that's how I found out about the dance crews that were there at Videopolis. And then after doing a little bit of research, I found more people that had belonged to them. So I was like, oh, well, that's neat.
But I think she's trying to understand what the draw is to it today.
So I think everyone's going to give you a different answer with that. I will tell you what drew me was something new to do. I'm very well versed with Disneyland itself. I've been heavily going to it for the last 10 years.
Everything you do is heavy, Jack, but go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much. And I needed something new to do. And we saw a group, particularly it was the Hitchhikers, and I am a huge fan of the Haunted Mansion. And so I ended up wanting to join the Hitchhikers. Now, they were not exactly looking for recruits. And so eventually, things changed, and eventually I did join a group called...
Elizabeth, are you in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay, Jack, she's in a relationship, so you can tone it down on the flirting because she's not going to go out with you after this interview anyways.
Okay.
I don't know. You didn't hear that little.
I know there was a little
evil
pause. There
giggle
was a
there.
little pause there before she said she was in a relationship.
So I joined another, which is now defunct group, which was Walt's Doom Crew, which that one itself was started in Oh wait, yeah, that one was started in 2013, but I joined it in 2014.
Okay, so and then why did it boom so much after that time? I think when the clubs became identifiable with the biker style vest and everything,
Yes.
it was something that was much more noticeable to people in the parks. And I think it just kind of exploded because the visual representation of social clubs had really taken off, and people just started, asking questions, wanting to start their own. They'd hear about it, hear what it was about, and it just kind of boomed from there. And it's been pretty much booming ever since 2014. I mean, there's definitely more clubs that start and end. Right now, I don't think we're at the peak anymore of where it was at one time.
No, it's definitely a lot lower than it used to be.
It's a lot lower than it used to be. I think the peak was probably about a year and a half ago was
Yeah.
probably the peak. And Steph's going to sleep. Elizabeth, what's your next question for us?
Okay, here's my next question. And I know that this is kind of like historian stuff, but I see you guys in this role as like community leaders. And I know you're doing a ton of work with your legal defense fund and all that other shit that's going on. And I don't necessarily care about going into that, but how would you all describe your role in the social club community?
Okay, I think that's a white rabbit question.
Well,
How would I describe our role in the social club community? Well, I mean, I think the White Rabbit specifically, because we are the largest club that's in the parks, and I think we're the largest club that's ever been in the parks. There was a club that peaked before us that was the Main Street Elite, and I don't know if they got up to the numbers that we have, but they were close to it. As far as being social leaders, it's almost because it's almost by default. One of the things is that our club is so recognizable that we kind of catch the flack for any social club does. And so we kind of we have a vested interest because we're so involved in our club and we've put a lot of hard work into our club, and so we kind of get involved in any issues that are kind of going on in the social club community, because whatever any social club does really reflects on our club, the White Rabbits, if that makes any sense. I mean, I've heard it rumored that, in the Disneyland back offices, they refer to the social clubs as a whole as rabbits. And so it doesn't matter what patch is on the back of the club. If some club does something stupid on the Disneyland corporate level, they see it as it's a rabbit problem, even if the person technically wasn't a White Rabbit Social Club member. So I mean, we care to make sure that we can keep on doing this for a long time, and we don't want it to end. So we take an interest in it.
Yeah. What's the future for the White Rabbit?
Hopefully, staying out of jail.
World domination.
yes, world domination. I agree with Steph.
Well, of course, you're somewhat aware of what's been going on with the legal issues and everything that's going on, and I know that the legal issues that are going on, it really gets pinned on the White Rabbit specifically. The thing that a lot of people don't know that's not mentioned in the media is out of the 30 people that are named, it actually represents 9 different social clubs. Everybody's labeled in the lawsuit as the White Rabbits, but it's really not. It involves 9 different social clubs. So the future for the White Rabbits is to hopefully, get this lawsuit, get everything behind us, and then keeping on doing what we're doing, doing the events outside of the park and just doing more stuff. I mean, there's no change the world goals out there or anything. I mean, the White Rabbits, the social club scene has always been and always will be just an escape for its members. We have a lot of people out there. They work hard. They work all week long, and when they come to the Disneyland on Sundays or whatever to meet up with the rest of the social clubs, it's really an escape from their reality. And it's just meant to be able to go to the parks, have a good time, and meet new people, and just have fun. And that's what we want to get back to doing. I mean, that's what we do right now, too, but we want to focus more on that in the future.
You look like a blues guitarist.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, never mind that. They're talking about other stuff. Go ahead, Elizabeth. Next question.
Cool. Do you think all your listeners right now are members? Who's listening right now?
Members of
I'm just
the
curious.
White Rabbit Social Club?
I'm not a member, but I'm listening.
No.
Or social club members.
The thing is, the podcast is completely separated, and we've actually tried to. I know the show tonight has been so social club focused, but this show was going on before it was connected to the social clubs, and then we kind of got sucked into the social club circle, talking about just social club issues, and we've actually been trying to get away from it more. But funny drama, funny stuff happens, and we just kind of keep getting sucked back in. But I wouldn't say that this show is specifically social club related, even though tonight is a horrible example of that. It's more of a topical news show and everything, and it just so happens that 4 of the people that are hosting this show happen to be involved in a social club, and we do talk about our hobbies on the show. But this show, Radio Underland, is not technically affiliated specifically or targeted to the social club community specifically. And even there's a big group on Facebook, and it's called the Club Hub. And the Club Hub is basically designed for members of social clubs. But the topics that are discussed in that group are not necessarily Disneyland related. They're anything. It just happens to be a group that's set up for people that are in social clubs, but topically it can go all over the place.
I can't help think about that Dave Chappelle episode where at the end they tell him, wrap it up, B. They had the little box, the red box, and you slam the box when you want somebody to stop talking. Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
Hey, come on. They're getting mad at me for talking too much.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, they always give up. There's a lot of joking that goes on, a lot of ribbing in the social club community, a lot of jokes and a lot of, just bad humor, I guess. But Elizabeth, what else can I answer for you?
I guess my last question, and this is for anyone, is if you were to leave, parting words, like what's your legacy? Like, I know, and even if it's just community or shooting the shit or whatever it is, like, what's the legacy you guys are leaving behind? Because you are making a mark in your community, in the Disney community, in how people experience Disneyland in general. Like, what do you want to leave behind?
Well, the legacy, I think it's on a personal level. And what I hope that happens one day is, like, all these people that are involved in the social club scene, they're sitting around, they have gray hair, and they're 80 years old, and they're talking to their grandkids, and they just reflect back on this time of being adults and acting like kids at Disneyland fondly. Telling their grandkids, it says, back when I was a kid, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe this story is insane. We had our own group of friends. We'd go to Disneyland every other Sunday. We'd have a good time, and it was just one of the funnest times of my life. It was so crazy. We had groups on Facebook. We had a radio show that we all listened to and called in on. It was just the most outrageous time. It was a good part of my life. I would like to see people reflect back on this like it was high school prom or like their good high school years, even though it's adults that are pretty much doing this, people out of high school. But I just think the legacy would just be a good memory that's left in people's mind, and they remember the social club community when they were involved fondly.
We're going to sit back and remember, like, the hub when we're, like, 90. Laughing at Alex Galvez, fucking with people, and
Yeah.
Eddie talking shit.
But, because what happens in the social club community is it really lets people, adults, kind of cut loose, be politically incorrect, act like kids. It's almost like high school. It really is. It's like high school for adults.
But without the community itself, I don't think a lot of people that are friends today would probably be friends or have the relationships that they have.
A lot of truth in that.
Well, I'm looking around this room right now, and right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in this room. Other than my wife, I wouldn't know any of these people that are standing in here if it wasn't for the social community, social club community. Okay, let's not.
Well, you said
Can I make my
nobody.
okay? Yeah, Stefan was a mutual friend of a friend. But I see people of all walks of life coming together. I mean, from the corporate level to janitors to whatever, and they all hang out as a family in the parks. And it's really interesting to see a group where somebody can join in. I mean, we've got a lot of people like Tom, for instance. Tom was a transplant from Boston. He got moved out here for work.
I just knew you were going to say transgender.
Yeah, no, transplant. And so Tom came out here from Boston, and one of the first things he did was get a Disney pass. And he came out here. And how many friends did you have out here, Tom? Other than your one boss that hired you to come out here?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
And so-
why
Why don't you tell her your story
I would
of how you
say-
got involved in this?
because my wife was in the smoking section and she met Aaron and Chris Cleary,
Who were rabbits?
who were rabbits, and her and Aaron identified with her because she was from Boston. So everybody likes the Boston accent. And they just clicked. They just clicked immediately, and I walked over to see what was taking her so long. And here we are 4 years later.
And how many friends do you have in this social club scene?
Oh, hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah, I will, honest to God, say that this is a better. I have a better time now than when I was in high school.
Yeah. Even though some of these bitches are way dramatic and we have to deal with bullshit.
Yeah, you got to deal with bullshit sometimes. It's kind of like being in high school sometimes.
All the time.
Every time.
Yeah,
But there's other people like Tom that were kind of like transplanted out here, or their kids just left to college and they're finally left at home alone, and now they go to the parks and they just kind of, their whole life was their kids. Now their kids are gone and they want to meet new people and have a good time. And it really is a social club.
but it's a giant family. It really is. Everybody looks out for the most part,
Yeah.
and we just have a
Agreed.
good time.
And I can guarantee you, Elizabeth, if you ever come down from, you're in Seattle, if you ever come down to Southern California, and if you come down on the first or third Sunday of the month, hang out with us for a day, and it'll probably be the most fun at Disneyland you've ever had. We might not ride too many rides, though. I'm just giving you a heads up on that.
So you're going to spend
All right,
hundreds
fair
of
enough.
dollars to come in a park and hang out and drink beer.
And we may ride a ride,
Maybe one.
but it will be epic because it will be a takeover, so it'll be epic.
Yeah, we'll get in line with like 60,
And we sink
70
boats
people.
and stuff.
No, Miss, she's writing a paper. Don't say we sink boats like because there's a lot of Elizabeth. I'm sure you've looked around online
misconstrue that a
and you've
little
heard you've heard a lot of misinformation about. You've seen old articles where they said, well, yeah, in order to join a social club, you have to shut down a ride, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. Believe me. Social clubs are all about being the most best behaved people in the park. And the reason is that they are so identifiable that if somebody walking in a social club vest drops a piece of trash on the ground, it gives the whole scene a bad name. So social club people as a whole are all about respecting cast members, respecting the park, staying out of trouble, and keeping their nose clean when they're in the parks. So don't believe any of the hype that you see in any printed articles or whatever. Nobody's out there breaking down rides or doing anything like that. That would be totally uncalled for, and that would be reason to get kicked out of the whole community immediately.
Actually, I did break down a ride once.
Oh, here we go.
It was on accident though.
How'd you do that?
It didn't actually break down and never really went anywhere.
Were you too heavy?
Yes.
That's what I meant by sinking boats.
Yes. I was too heavy. Apparently, the little shuttle that I was in. Well,
What ride was that?
That was
The train?
No. It's a small world. No, I'm kidding. It was Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
Space Mountain.
You were too
They
fat for Space Mountain.
They were like, "Sir, can you please just come over here for a moment?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Is there a problem?" No. We just need you to get on the next shuttle. Come
Oh,
with us.
we were
Overloaded it.
there.
Like, oh, thanks.
We were there when that happened.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No problem. That's just.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm
so
all right
so
with that.
so Elizabeth, what are you now? Let's be real. What are you really writing? Like a college term paper or something like that?
No, it'll be part of
That
an
laugh.
academic. It'll be part of a collection of essays. So it may end up in some idiot undergrad class about Disney and why it matters.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, it'll be part of a book. So
All right. Okay.
that's
In
what you guys
1,000
need. That's where you're
years,
like, if he's gonna
when
go.
everybody's dead and gone,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like 5 people left on the earth.
We need to
and they're
write our
gonna
own
find
book.
some shit like
We
that.
should write
We
our own
need-
book.
we need
We
to write
have
a
plenty
book.
of material to write the most outrageous
We
book
should
that
just
people
start a
wouldn't believe.
blog.
Hell yeah,
People
we
make
do.
money on blogs.
Yeah.
I think we need to write a book, and then
Yeah.
we could sell the movie rights legitimately.
Oh, there's so many outrageous stories. I don't think I want to even print the stories until we're out of this scene altogether.
I wonder if Disney would buy.
I don't want the legal
I
repercussions.
wonder if Disney would buy our movie rights.
They would probably buy it to lock it in a vault so they never get out. All right, Elizabeth, was there anything else I could help you with today?
You guys have been fantastic. I really appreciate the time you've taken, and I'm excited to see where y'all take this pretty cool community. So thank you for sharing it with me.
All right, well, thank you very much, Elizabeth. And that was Elizabeth, is it Schiffler?
Yep.
Elizabeth Schiffler from some unnamed college in Seattle. Washington WAMU. Isn't WAMU out there, or WAMU, or if they call it something like that? Anyways. All right, Elizabeth, you have a great day, and we will, if you ever come down to Disneyland, email Jack, because I'm sure he's already have you saved as his favorite email in his email folders and stuff. So just email if you ever come down to California, and we'll hang out and have a
I
good
actually
time.
just removed her from that email just because I found out that she's already in a relationship.
You know, Jack, why do you have to be so bitter? She could come down here 2 years from now, and she could totally be single, and you wouldn't even remember her name because you deleted her out of your life.
How do you know she doesn't want to be a side piece?
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
I do have you back in there. You're good to go.
I'm pretty sure he's already superimposed her face over porn star bodies now. He's already got a spank bank set aside for it. So
I'm sorry, Elizabeth.
Sorry, we
I'm
ratted
sorry
you out.
for all of this.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, Elizabeth, you have a good one, and we'll say goodbye to Elizabeth. Well, Tom, way to go, Jack. Thanks for cock blocking the whole damn
Good
show.
job, Jack.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank-
We lost viewers, Jack,
Good
because
job. We
of you.
have had people complaining
Yeah.
for the last 20 minutes. Although somebody did refer to her as Elizabeth Smart. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty fucked up.
What's Elizabeth Smart? I don't even know what that
The
is.
chick that got abducted from her house.
From what?
Okay, I
That
know
got
who it is
abducted- What?
The girl that got abducted from her house and kidnapped for like 15 years
Oh, shoot.
or however many years and then returned.
No, but seriously, we get these requests for interviews like that. I swear, like once every week and a half.
they're all over the community. I see them in everybody's email all the time.
Well, that's the beauty of it.
We did it once.
Never have to do it again.
It's part of pop culture. I mean, people really want to understand what
Next time, you
brings
should
it
just
together.
refer them back to this episode.
That's what we're gonna do.
Just
That's
refer
what we're
them
gonna
to
do.
Jack, period.
Okay.
Let Jack do the interview next time.
Yeah.
Privately.
Just play that.
There you go.
You know, the funny thing is, I responded back to a few. I finally had to give up last week, and I told Jack, I said, I've got 2 emails coming through. I don't even know who's who. Jack, can you just figure out what's going on? Or I don't know.
So you picked the one that you thought was hot.
Yeah.
Okay. Good move, Jack.